Okay, so this video here, there's a lot in it. Internet drama, internet personalities, pride, ego, and also an apology from me. First of all, when myself and a couple other people, when we talk about the post-duopoly, I have this hope that people are going to wake up and not fall for the same tactics that got everyone trapped in 2016 and in 2020 with Bernie Sanders and AOC. Because I think I was wrong. I did have the hope that maybe more people would wake up, but I think I underestimated, and I'm wrong here. I think I underestimated just the amount of influence Bernie Sanders and AOC truly do have. Because at an event that was in Las Vegas fighting the oligarchy, even though the workers' strike party is, has more authenticity behind it, 15,000 people attended and joined. Okay. So Bernie has that juice still, huh? AOC's got that juice. 15,000 people attending, speaking. But what I want to say to everybody that's talking about Bernie Sanders and AOC leading a resistance, I mean, listen, I played a clip on yesterday's show where Caitlin Collins asked Bernie Sanders, hey, would you support AOC primarying Chuck Schumer? And he was dismiss it right away. But here they both are at this event where 15,000 people are in Las Vegas fighting the oligarchy. But yet Bernie Sanders and AOC went to bat for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, who made sure that nothing would fundamentally change anything. The wars, all this, he still made sure that all this BS would be happening. But nonetheless, it is just rather disappointing to see how this all plays out. And when you have such a big event like this, those that love to be the shepherd and put people back in the Democrat Party also join in, such as Hasan Piker, which, by the way, this was a very short interview because it says a lot about Bernie, AOC, and Hasan, each with their own opinions and point of views, each with their own perspectives. But I want to play this video. There's some classic lines here and there. Enjoy it, folks. This is bananas.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, we have Bernie Sanders and AOC in the building. You guys are about to go up and speak at another one of the rallies that you've been doing, the Fighting Oligarchy tour. And I'm very excited to have you here. Vegas, specifically for me, has a lot of importance because I always say it's like the last time that I felt really hopeful about the future of this country, because I was outdoor knocking for you along with the Chapo boys as well in the primaries. And
we did pretty well, huh?
Yeah. And everyone kept saying, oh, the culinary union is not going to vote. But the rank and file very clearly was swinging in your direction. And in spite of the media attacks, you obviously pulled through, and then COVID, and then all hell broke loose, obviously, and here we are. You don't have a lot of time, so and I'm sure that we'll get to talk a little bit more in the future as well. But I went to Japan recently, and I got both of you guys gifts. I actually have another gift for you, but unfortunately, I don't have your gift, the actual gift here. Hold on. This one's for you. This is
presents from Japan. Now look, I love Japan, but I just find this funny. Serious journalism from Jank's nephew. Presents from Japan. I know. This is supposed to be a serious interview about what again?
This is a Palestinian movement in Japan.
Thank you.
Solidarity with Palestine, and this is a little train. For public transit.
Oh.
I have a Japanese Communist Party pin for you as well, but unfortunately, because I went over there and I checked out their headquarters. But what are you guys trying to accomplish with these rallies? Let's get started.
I mean, I think that what the kind of moment that we're in, and also something that Trump was able to exploit, was really practicing, even though he doesn't believe in working class politics, they had a very focused working class strategy. And I think for a while, Democratic Party clearly didn't wasn't effective at that, wasn't successful at that. And I think one of the things that we're here to do is to actually rally a class conscious movement.
Abiding says, "What did we do to deserve this, Kit? Why have you forsaken us? Because if I watch this and laugh, so do all of you, because this is funny. It gets better."
To bring people,
Because never mind, I'm not going to spoil it. Listen, you'll thank me later.
Together and to show that we can fight for a better future, not in marginalizing and attacking people, marginalized people, but actually in rejecting the differences that we have, to come together in common cause and to organize folks.
Well, I agree. To me, this country faces the worst set of crises that we have faced in a very, very, very long time. We are looking at a nation which is now oligarchic. And they don't hide it. I mean, I must give them credit for that. You know, they're out there. Mr. Musk, the richest guy in the world.
What about your pal Biden and all his rich, fantastic friends and the policies that he continued on? What about that, Bernie? Gonna talk about that, Bernie? No, you're not. Hold on. The meltdown afterwards is so delicious.
Is running all over the place, cutting veterans, the needs of veterans, going after Social Security. There are in addition to Musk, he got 13 nominees of Trump to head major agencies who are all billionaires. So you got a government, clearly, no embarrassment, of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class. And then what is, I would hope, would be upsetting to all Americans, no matter what their politics may be. You can be conservative about this. You got a president who is moving us very rapidly into an authoritarian form of society. I mean, you don't sue media in America because they say something bad about you. Alexandria and I got about 500 lawsuits there, but we happen to believe in democracy. You don't ask for the impeachment of judges because they issue a ruling which you disagree with. So it is, these are tough times. And what we have got to do is rally the working families of this country to stand up to oligarchy and to demand that we have an economy and a government that works for all, not just the people on top.
So one way that this government, I think, the Trump administration has been able to very expertly tackle these issues is by using an entry point of pre-established marginalization. Obviously, the erosion of civil liberties is happening all around, but like in terms of attacking free speech, a fundamental principle that I think all Americans agree on. And the way that he's done this, the way that this administration has attacked free speech is by doing something that previously has only been utilized in the darkest times of American history. I'm of course talking about Mahmoud Khalil being potentially being deported, or at least having his.
Notice how Bernie doesn't give a damn. He's sitting there because, like, you know, he's not going to talk too much about Mahmoud being potentially deported, you know, because I played a video, did a segment of him just walking away, and not hearing the protesters or activists speak like, hey, can we get a comment from you? He just walked away.
His green card revoked for.
And also, Peter version 1, no mentioning of first name Julian, last name Assange.
Basically nothing that the administration is all but admitted.
And BW, how about the previous way the administration attacked free speech? Oh yeah, absolutely.
For no discernible reason other than the fact that he was the lead negotiator on the student side, the student protesters at Columbia campus.
And also, yes, you're right, the body language. And New Jersey native says Bernie hates this and doesn't like talking about Palestine right now. Oh, don't worry. We all know about Bernie and what he recently voted on, right? Bernie, you cuck.
On top of that, just like in Nazi Germany, the Trump administration is now trying to put up an academic receivership and take charge and take control over different institutions.
It was Kurt Boss who also brought that up about Julian Assange. Well done to all of my people. All of you. I try to read all the comments.
Is within Columbia, and I feel like this is a grave mistake. Do you feel like the Democrats have any sort of interest in fighting back against this, regardless of what their opinion might be on Israel. The fact is that this is greatly going to expand, and it's simply just the entry point. Like the Palestine conversation is simply an entry point that has at least like some semblance of institutional backing, but it's obvious to me that they're going to go after a lot of other people, including but not limited to the French researcher, according to Le Monde, that was denied entry into the country because they looked through his phone and they found out that he had criticized Trump's elimination of grants.
I think there actually is support for it because of the free speech grounds on it, because when ICE came to try to pick up in Mahmoud Khalil's case, when they tried to pick him up, they offered no warrant. These were unmarked people. There were no charges. And so you have Senator Durbin and Senate Judiciary, right?
Oh, boys. Yeah. And you know, Bernie's not there. Bernie wants to be somewhere else. This is like, again, Bernie remembers sitting through Jenks stuff, right? And now here is with Jenks' nephew. Torwin writes, Bernie had nothing to say when the Biden administration was going after the Uhuru guys or using his FBI raid Americans' homes for their speech, though, did he? No, Bernie said nothing. Bernie said nothing. Bernie said nothing.
Bernie, I think he
is the ranking member.
I believe they released a statement talking about how they want to move on this. But I also think that it goes without saying that there is still profound money and interest that remains dedicated on both sides of the aisle in trying to marginalize and also conflate criticism of Israel as anti-Semitism.
Right.
And we have to be very aware of that too.
We have very limited time, and you guys.
Hold on, this is great. If you waited for this, I love you. If you watch the full video, it's great. This is why you want to share the video when I clip it, because notice the look. AOC's like, oh, I get to leave this. Great, I'm out of here.
Do I need to? Sorry,
you got notes on.
Bernie's like, wait, take me with you. No, come back, AOC. Come back. She left Jake's nephew.
Anti-Semitism.
Right.
And we have to be very aware of that too.
We have very limited time, and you guys have to.
Do I need to? Sorry.
You got notes on.
I'm going
Okay.
up. It's my cue.
All right.
Just
Sorry,
a
I'm
minute
going
or
up on
two.
stage.
All right, perfect.
He's like a minute or two. And if you sat, I know many of you are saying, Kit, this is boring. Sit through this whole entire video because this is just the appetizer, my lovelies. I got the main course of the backlash and Hasan's little salty meltdown. It's the chef's kiss. I promised you an awesome Friday show. That's why all of you need to stay tuned.
One question I actually wanted to ask you before we let you go is you've also talked about recently with the New York Times about what the future of the Democratic Party looks like and what maybe young enterprising individuals must do. And I believe I'm paraphrasing here. You said something along the lines of like running as an independent rather than utilizing the party.
For me, that's not a very radical concept because I am the longest serving independent in American congressional history, and I've always run as an independent. Look, I think the Democrats over the years deserve credit for the work they've done on women's rights, on gay rights.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bernie. What? Democrats deserve credit for what? Women's rights? What? What happened to Roe v. Wade? Remember when Obama had that supermajority in the Senate and House? It's not folks, let me be clear. It's not politically expedient to do this at the time. Right, Bernie? Yes, no, maybe. What about all these other social issues, right? Hey, folks, let's have democracy in the chat. We got a lot of people tuning in. Mandatory, get to the keyboards right now. We got 360 people here, and I better see that chat just blow up. Hey, folks, have the Democrats been good on all their record and voting? Have they never once let you down? Type 1 for Kit. The DNC has never let me down. I love them. Type 2. Boy, that's a foolish question. You know they let us down. I wonder how many 2s will be in the chat. I wonder. Don't you ever wonder?
On civil liberty, civil rights in general, fighting bigotry, they deserve credit, and they've made progress. But I don't think anybody with a straight face can tell you that they've stood up for the working class of this country And I think that's why so many working class people have drifted into the Republican Party, not because they believe in tax breaks for billionaires or they don't believe that climate change is real. It's they look at the Democrats and there's not much there. So what my view is people should think about running as they want, progressive independents, should run as progressive Democrats, but don't necessarily feel that you have to run within the Democratic Party. And I think as you may recall, in Nebraska, a fellow named Dan Osborne ran a really, really powerful campaign as an independent, running as a very proud trade unionist, running on economic issues, and he did extremely well, much better than anyone had anticipated. So that was my point, and I think it makes sense.
Do you feel like there's any sort of momentum to break through the duopoly in this structure as someone who has run as an independent?
It is. It's a long discussion. If you're asking me, do I think we could start a third party tomorrow? I don't.
There it is. The answer was always there. I remember the People Summit. So many people. This was at McCormick Place. Myself and Daniel, we were there. We were covering that event. It was after 2016, and so many people in that stadium, that arena, were yelling at Bernie at McCormick Place. You were cheated. You were cheated. Let's form a third party. Let's form a real movement. Hell, I interviewed Jimmy Dore talking about a real people's party. That's when people still had hope for Bernie. And no third party. He's never going to be post-duopoly. He's all in with the blue dong wangbone Democrat Party.
A lot of reasons having to do with restrictions in various states making it almost impossible. But I think what you're seeing is massive discontent with both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. More and more people are looking for, I think, independent alternatives.
Yes, but he says now's not the time, so shut up and vote Democrat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you sat through the appetizer. If you made it this far, hit the like button. Now, the main course. Hasan meets up with the guy who sets up Bernie's interview and asks for a longer one in the future. Oh, he wants a longer interview with Bernie. He's like, please, Asmongold is kicking my butt right now. He's the #1 political Twitch streamer right now. Oh, no. This is where it comes off. Just be grateful you got your slice of pizza, Hasan. Shut up and enjoy your slice of pizza, boy.
Hopefully that was good. This is productive. We have 50,000 people watching. That's good for you. I don't know what the numbers are.
See, Hasan said, we had 50,000 people watching. And the guy's like, oh, that's good for you, right? Whatever.
Pretty good. Well, I'd love to stay in touch to find other ways for absolutely to grow your empire here. Well, I want to. Also, by the way, we're live right now. But we're still live. I want to do a longer sit-down conversation with Bernie whenever time permits. Hopefully, yeah. That'd be great.
If you're doing a deal, you look the man in the eye. All right, you look the man in the eye and say, "Hey, I would like to do a longer form interview," or leave it at sit down and have a discussion about it. When you're doing stuff like this, looking around here, no, that's not serious.
All right. Are you streaming all the time? You're always streaming?
I'm never not streaming. Well, only when I'm traveling am I not streaming. But yeah. All right, perfect. Nice.
Yes, because Hasan's got to be streaming because here's the thing. He's demanding that people take him seriously. There was only like a 10-minute sit down with AOC and Bernie, and I get it. Look, if you're talking to high profile people, you want the interview to be longer, but notice as soon as the time's running up, as soon as you say that, you give an opening window for them to run away. You don't do that. That's interviewing 101. My friend, okay? Yeah, at least make sure that the interview goes past the 10-minute mark. You never do anything less than 10 minutes. What's wrong with you? You had 50,000 people tune in for a 10-minute interview. So you give out presents from Japan. You hear Bernie say the Democrats had a good record for, being good on women's rights and other issues. No, they never have been. AOC running away, that was clear gold. But if you think the entree's done, oh no, because Hasan is mad that people are not taking him seriously. My Logan Roy quote, I love you, but you are not serious people because he's salty. He's mad. He's perturbed that he lost his spot as #1 political streamer on Twitch. That's why we're on Kick, baby.
Let him know. Let him come through. Let the haters know, baby. Everybody always like Hasan is a flop tuber. What has he done? I don't understand. And then I'm out here interviewing Bernard Sanders and AOC at the same time at a rally that I was invited to. You know what I mean? It's like, what has he done? I will not be looking into what he has done. I'm just asking that question rhetorically with the hopes that none of my stupid audience members will ever go over there and Google what Hasan has done. What is he fucking? Has he ever raised money or anything? Like, what has he ever done? Has he ever like interviewed people? All he does is drama, dude.
Because that's what you capitalize, Hasan. And that's in this 43-second video. That's what you've capitalized on: drama, hypocrisy, everything you've touched turned to crap. And not to mention choice words about a U.S. senator or Izzadad being an advocate for Palestine and Gaza. I mean, when confronted by one of your viewers, when you were buying products that were BDS, right? Boycott, divest, and sanction. You know, one of your viewers said, "No, Hasan, don't buy that. Boy, BDS, right?" And you bought it anyways. A champagne socialist. Hey, look, hey, and I'm all for somebody living in a fancy house. Who am I to say that? But if you say one thing and act another, you're a hypocrite. What have you done? Well, you're Jank's nephew, and that's how you got on the social media. You're Janky's nephew. That's what you'll be known as. Janky's nephew. Jank's nephew. Jank's nephew. You're acting like a baby bird right now, Hasan. Don't be a baby bird. Come on, baby bird. Don't be a baby bird because you're mad that people aren't taking you seriously. But the thing is, too, even when your audience does confront you, you know, you also had other representatives there. Because here's the thing. When Hardlands Media covers events, you know, we at least try and interview as many people as possible. Yes, it's always important to interview the front card people. But you want to get everybody. And also, Patrick D writes, Hasan had 10 minutes to ask AOC and Bernie something meaningful and spent most of the time talking about himself. Hey, when you hit the nail on the head, buddy, it is what it is. It's absolutely something. Peter version 1 says, my gift would have been nothing like they gave us. Absolutely. And Virtuoso says, how far up Bernie's bumhole does the donkey dong has to go in order for him to realize that the Democrats keep screwing him over? Virtuoso, I'm going to let you in a little secret. He likes it like that and always has, always will. It is what it is. But here, when confronted, even his audience asks him, hey, how come you didn't interview this person?
Steve Horsford. I could. I just have not expressed interest in talking to him. I don't know why. You got to be a real politics head to be like, dude, are you going to talk to Steve Alexander Horsford as well? Because he's also at the rally. He's also speaking at the rally. He's a representative from Nevada. But
yeah, but you should. I mean, you are supposedly the #1 political streamer. You should know this kind of stuff. You should be ready. Even if you had a 10-minute interview with AOC and Bernie, you should have had other people in lineup ready to speak to. Unless you were there just for the clout and to have people say, oh, look, there's Hasan. Just like how you were here in the DNC convention in Chicago.
Like you are a real politics head. Like you're a head. You're like, come on, dude. You're not gonna. You fucking kidding me? You're gonna go to Nevada and not talk to the Nevada district 4 representative? Like I don't understand. 4th district, dude. That's the GOAT. That's Steve. Like most streamers would be like, hey, can you talk to Jerma? You're in Vegas. Why don't you go collab with Jerma? You guys are like, please collab with Stephen Horsford as well. Very solid, very reliable representative. Will not be talking to Steve.
What, you're not going to talk to him? Now, one other thing here too, because in this entire live stream, you also see something else here too. I promise you guys treats. I promise you this. No one could do you in like you could do yourself in.
What? H calling you out? Calling out for a Ubisoft sponsor you took kind of ridiculous. Who's H calling me out? Dude, I take sponsors. Yeah. What's the problem? I play video games. And some of those video game companies will pay me to play the video game. Like, what is the... It's a thing that every content creator does. Who gives a shit? Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm fake. I'm fake. I'm phony.
Oh. It's all fake and phony. It's all fake and phony because you have a person who doesn't even understand. When you have the opportunity, the platform that you have to do real change, what does he do it? What does he use with it? Oh, nothing but promoting a political party that has failed working class Americans for decades. All right. And that's the thing about a lot of these influencers and people the last 8 years who promoted cancel culture and censorship, who dismiss real progressives and independents who are challenging AOC. I wonder, Hasan, were you ever going to ask him about Force the Vote or March for Medicare for All? Or about how many times they went to bat for Joe Biden? Or how many times that the Democrats constantly failed the American people? Or where they have revealed themselves as being part of the entire corrupt system in which money is speech, corporations are people. But yet you keep on promoting this same political party that has delivered nothing. And yet all these scandals being revealed about Joe Biden, how he wasn't mentally fit, or all this stuff about how AOC and Bernie, they could have theoretically challenged the Democrats during the primary, but what did all of you do? Oh, you went to bat for them, and now you got to carry the L and put on this fake resistance thing. And going back to the original statement where I made an apology, look, I have to say, I was wrong. I really wasn't expecting so many people to be hypnotized by Bernie and AOC still. I mean, 15,000 people did show up, and hey, that's pretty impressive. That's a huge number. And a lot of people watching on social media, of course. But I want to ask all these people, what have they delivered on? What have they promised? What have we gained from the Democrats? Except for influencers and people trying to peddle this stuff. You know what I call, a lot of these people like Harry or Hasan or anybody else as part of that Vote Blue, no matter whose sphere. You guys are like snake oil salesmen. You say one thing, you promise something, and you deliver something completely different. So no, absolutely not. This cannot be tolerated. This cannot be expected that everyone's going to fall in line. With Bernie Sanders talking about fighting the oligarchy, the man was more than happy to vote with his good friend Joe Biden, who had billionaires just like Elon Musk whispering in his ear. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Same thing with Nancy Pelosi, not challenging the party. In that 10 minutes, all we learned about is just nothing more of, here we are fighting about the oligarchy. What are we going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. That's the legacy of Bernie Sanders. Nothing. Just hot air for the Democratic Party that screwed him and all of us over. And see, he liked it. The rest of us, some of us have woken up to it. Others have capitalized on it and tried to keep people in the pen. And many others are still happy to be in the pen. But wake up to reality. It's all a game, and you're being used, and you're like sheep being led to the slaughter.